Dela write my MVVs. Welcome.
Yes, so Dela write the Ooni of Ifes Akowe Oba has been suspended indefinitely as Palace discovered that Queen Naomi's name was removed from the royal registry. Dela writes it's not a small thing, no, gather close because today's story from the ancient halls of the revered Ile-Ife Palace is both shocking and, stepped in deep Yoruba tradition. This is not just your everyday whisper. This is a palace quake of spiritual and political proportion. At the center of this unfolding drama is none other than the Akowe Oba, the royal scribe, suspended indefinitely over an act that not only rocked the palace but has serious traditional consequences. In the sacred tradition of Yoruba monarchy, especially in a royal stool as ancient and spiritually significant as, that of the Ooni of Ife. Every title, every name, every inscription in the royal registry carries ancestral weight. The royal registry isn't just a book of names. It is a spiritual archive. It chronicles the names of, reigning queens, children of the throne, alliances formed through marriage, royal appointment, and events with deep ancestral implications, Dela write, we have that when Queen Naomi's name, of course, was removed. You know how Queen Naomi is important to the Ooni of Ife. As far as the Ooni of Ife is concerned, Queen Naomi happens to be the only woman Ooni of Ife truly respect. The mother of his heir, and the heartbeat of the palace. You know that Queen Naomi is the queen of hearts. People love her so much, when they discovered that, her document was missing from the sacred register, all spiritual alarms went off. The omission was not just a clerical error. It was a direct assault on the spiritual hierarchy of the throne and an affront to tradition. Now here's where it gets even worse, even more serious. The Akowe Oba, the royal scribe, is not just any staff in the palace. He is considered the spiritual gatekeeper of the throne's oral and written legacy. His role is so secret that he is required to undergo ritual cleansing before updating or removing names from the registry. And any change, especially one concerning the royal wife, must pass through several layers of approval, including the Ooni of Ife himself and the Iwade Meji Council, Now, there's something called, in Ile-Ife, they call them the Iwadi Meji Council. The elders who confirm spiritual balance in palace decision. That council is called the Iwadi Meji. Meji is spelled M-E-M-J-I, So how did Queen Naomi's name disappear? Is a question that everybody has been asking. Well, palace insiders whisper that it was done deliberately, not just out of carelessness or malice, but as part of a plot to shift the power dynamics among the royal wives. And this is where traditional implication begins to explode, The removal of a queen's name from the registry without due process is seen in Yoruba tradition as attempted spiritual assassination. It's a way of cutting off her ancestral ties to the throne, a form of erasure that goes beyond politics and borders on the metaphysical. If left unchecked, it could open the palace up to unrest, misfortune, and ancestral, disapproval. Queen Naomi being not only a former, prophetess, but also a deeply, Queen Naomi being not only a prophetess, but also a deeply respected spiritual force in her own right, is untouchable in many ways. Her union with the Ooni of Ife was not only legal and, ceremonial, it was spiritual. Her name in the registry is not just a recognition of her position, it is a seal of the gods on her marriage to the throne. To erase her name is to reject the decision of the ancestor. When the Ooni discovered the omission, he reportedly entered a deep state of reflection. He did not speak for hours. Then, in the presence of the Council of Chiefs, the Osarongo priestesses, the one that is still alive, and select palace elders, he summoned the Akowe Oba and demanded an explanation. The Akowe was speechless, okay, as we are hearing. Palace guard were instructed to restrict his movement immediately. Within an hour, the chief, MSA, announced to the entire palace that the Akowe Oba had been suspended indefinitely. That's what we are hearing if the information is true, but it didn't end there. According to palace tradition, when a royal functionary is suspected of spiritual sabotage, they are given a maximum of 12 hours to enter to either reveal the accomplices or face banishment, okay? Yes, banishment this time, because this crime is it's not that those kind of crime that they say, okay, the Yoruba people, they believe in reintegration rather than banishment. They are crimes that they do not take, for granted. That's not a figure of speech. It means the accused is stripped of all titles, spiritually cleansed out of the palace, history, and exiled from the sacred land of Ile-Ife. Sources close to the inner circle say the Oni gave a thunderous decree. Let him speak now or be cast out before the cock crows tomorrow. For no man remove the name of a royal without invoking the wrath of the ancestor, okay? So now they say they have given him 12 hours. Hopefully tomorrow I'll bring you more update, but how is this going? The Akowe Oba, sweating through his agbada is said to have, stammered that he was, following instruction, but when pressed on who gave those instructions, he claimed up that silence might cost him his entire life honor, okay? Now, here is where his tale becomes truly fascinating. Delarite, whisper from within the palace, alleged that one of the other Olori's royal wife is behind the move. Some say jealousy, others claim it was a strategy to reposition herself as the most favored. But here is a twist. Queen Naomi has not even been physically present in the palace, for a very long time. Yet her spiritual presence remains so strong that her influence overshadows all others. Remember the drama when the Oni, brand new Gulfstream G700 jet was used to move Queen Naomi. Maybe that was when they even did all of this, because the jealousy has gotten so high right now that these people are ready to do anything to Queen Naomi. This registry scandal is possibly an extension of that envy. Removing her name was an attempt to spiritually ground her to erase her legacy and shift favor. But the gods do not play politics, and neither does tradition. The Oni has now called for a full investigation and has tasked the Iwadi Meji elders to conduct spiritual divination to determine who else was involved. It is expected that once the accomplices are revealed, more heads may roll. Like maybe this time, you see that banishment we've not seen. I think this is when it will happen. And they said that when the gods want to buy you, they'll make you crazy. That is what they have done. Meanwhile, Queen Naomi from her quiet location in the royal mansion has remained silent. But her silence, Zelarite, is louder than thunder, because now everyone in the palace knows her name is not just ink on page. It is fire. It is royal, and it is protected by the ancestors. Because what else would have made Queen Naomi to enter that rain to go and break that fast and not in anywhere in the Osara? God wanted this thing to be revealed, okay? As we wait for the outcome of the 12-hour ultimatum, one thing is clear. The throne of Ife is not just a seat of tradition. It is a sacred altar. You don't toy with what the gods have approved, and no amount of palace scheming can change it. Stay tuned, Delarite. I will bring you more update on this, okay? I just really love you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you. Do not forget, these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.